Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I am excited to introduce you to my book, Not My Cup of Tea, The Power of Thoughts, Emotions, and Actions. This book is about a journey through life's highs and lows, from humble beginnings to unexpected success. But more importantly, it is a story about inner strength, self-discovery, and the powerful connection between what we think, how we feel, and the actions we take. TEA, thoughts, emotions, actions. These three elements shape not only our experiences, but the entire course of our lives. In this book, you will explore how our inner world creates the foundation for everything we achieve and everything we become, and how we can harness that power to live a more fulfilled and authentic life. I would not give away the story, but through this narrative, you will discover insights into overcoming challenges, building resilience, and redefining what success truly means. Whether you are looking for inspiration or just a fresh perspective, Not My Cup of Tea will guide you to reflect on your own life and the choices that have brought you here. So stay tuned by subscribing. I will be sharing more behind-the-scenes insights, key takeaways, and deep reflections from the book in upcoming videos. This is just the beginning if you are ready to explore the power of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let us embark on this journey together. Chapter 1. The Dusty Roads of Anambra. The sun was a relentless overseer as it hovered above the village of Umudike, casting its harsh glare on the dirt roads and tin-roofed huts. It was early afternoon, and the air was thick with the scent of earth and sweat. As I walked down the narrow path, each step sent tiny clouds of dust spiraling into the still, heavy air. My bare feet, calloused from years of walking these very roads, barely registered the heat of the ground beneath me. Back then, it was as if the world had conspired to test our endurance. My family's hut was simple, 4 walls of mud and a thatched roof that did little to keep the relentless sun at bay. Inside, there was a single room, sparsely furnished with a woven mat and a wooden chest that held the few clothes we owned. But it was home, and in that home, I found something that would change my life forever: boxing. I remember the first time I saw a boxing match on an old crackling radio my father had scrounged from a distant market. The voices of the commentators were filled with excitement, and I could almost see the fighters dancing around the ring, their movements fluid and precise. I was captivated. In a village where the future seemed as bleak as the horizon, boxing was my dream, my escape, my salvation. It was not long before I started practicing with makeshift gloves, old rags wrapped around my hands and tied tightly with string. My training ground was a small clearing behind our hut, where the earth was uneven and the air was thick with the smell of fresh earth. My father would watch, a look of curiosity and concern etched on his face. He did not understand my obsession, but he saw the fire in my eyes and the determination in my fists. One evening, after a particularly grueling practice session, I sat with my father under the shade of a large mango tree. The sun was setting, casting long shadows over the village. My father's weathered face was lined with years of hardship, but his eyes were soft as he looked at me.
You are too small for this, Chuka. What do you hope to achieve with these dreams?
I could see the worry in his eyes, but there was something else too. A glimmer of pride, perhaps, or maybe a spark of belief that he did not fully understand. I am not small, I replied, my voice steady. I am strong, and I am going to show everyone. My father nodded slowly, a gesture of reluctant acceptance. I knew he did not fully believe in my dreams, but in that moment, he offered me something more valuable than support. He offered me the space to chase them. Every day after that, I trained harder, pushing myself past the limits I once thought was unbreakable. The road was long, and the days were harsh, but each punch I threw, each drop of sweat that fell from my brow, was a step closer to the life I imagined. It was in those moments of solitude, when the only sound was the rhythm of my fists against the old sack, that I felt truly alive. Sometimes, as I lay on my mat at night, staring up at the stars through the gaps in the thatched roof, I would think about what lay beyond the dusty roads of Umudike. I imagined a world where my name was known, where my skills were celebrated. It was a distant dream, but it was mine, and it kept me going through the hardest of times. The village was quiet now, the hustle and bustle of the day settling into the calm of the evening. I took a deep breath, the familiar scent of dust and earth filling my lungs, and looked around at the place that had shaped me. It was a world of limitations, but also of possibilities. As I walked back to my family's hut, I carried with me a sense of purpose and a belief that the world was bigger than the dusty roads of Anambra. The next morning, the village woke up to the sounds of roosters crowing and the rhythmic pounding of maize being ground in the courtyard. I watched my mother as she worked tirelessly, her hands deftly moving the pestle with practiced ease. The kitchen was a modest space, dominated by a clay stove and a large wooden bowl where she prepared our meager meals. Despite the simplicity of our home, my mother's cooking was a source of comfort and warmth, even when there was not much to eat. I remember a morning when we had nothing but a pot of boiled yam, and as I sat down with my family, I noticed the worried glances exchanged between my parents. They tried to hide their concern, but the hunger was palpable. As I took my share, I could see the unspoken determination in their eyes. They wanted more for me, even if they had little to give. One day, as I was heading out to train, I saw a group of boys from the village playing football with a makeshift ball. They laughed and shouted, their voices filled with carefree joy. For a moment, I longed to join them, to forget the weight of my dreams and simply be a child. But as I looked at the ragged ball and the dusty field, I knew that my path was different. I turned away from the game and headed to my training spot. The small clearing behind our hut, with its uneven ground and scattered pebbles, was my sanctuary. Here, I could forget the world and focus solely on my punches, each strike a testament to my resolve. I imagined the cheers of a crowd, the roar of an arena, and with every punch, I felt a step closer to escaping the confines of my reality. One afternoon, as I was deep in practice, I noticed an older man watching me from the edge of the clearing. His clothes were worn, and his eyes were sharp with curiosity. After I finished my session, he approached, his gait steady and purposeful.
You have got a fire in you. I have seen many young men come and go, but you have got something different. I am Mr. Nwachukwu. I used to box a long time ago. I know talent when I see it.
Mr. Nwachukwu offered to train me, and though his methods were unorthodox, using old tires and wooden planks instead of fancy equipment, his guidance was invaluable. He taught me not only the technical aspects of boxing, but also the importance of discipline and mental fortitude. Training with Mr. Nwachukwu was hard work. His sessions were grueling, pushing me beyond what I thought were my limits. Yet, amidst the exhaustion, I found a new sense of purpose. Each drop of sweat, each aching muscle, was a step towards something greater. He became more than a mentor. He was a beacon of hope, showing me that my dreams were not just fantasies, but attainable goals. As days turned into months, the village began to notice the changes in me. I was no longer just a boy with a dream, but a young man with a purpose. My skills improved, and my reputation grew. Yet, despite the progress, there were still moments of doubt. Every time I looked at the vast horizon from the edge of the village, I wondered if I was truly capable of achieving my dreams, or if I was simply chasing shadows. But then, I would think of those early mornings, the sight of my mother's tired eyes, and the sacrifices my family made. I would remember Mr. Nwachukwu's words and the fiery determination that had always burned within me. And in those moments of uncertainty, I found the strength to keep pushing forward. The dusty roads of Anambra were my beginning, but they would not be my end. They were a reminder of where I came from and a testament to how far I could go. With every punch, every training session, I was not just fighting for a title or for recognition. I was fighting for a better life, for the dreams that seemed impossible, but were becoming more real with each passing day. And that wraps up Chapter 1 of Not My Cup of Tea, the power of thoughts, emotions, and actions. We have just scratched the surface of Chuka's journey, and there is so much more ahead. Insights that will make you reflect on your own thoughts, emotions, and actions. Thank you for listening. I look forward to seeing you in the next chapter as we dive deeper into this powerful journey. Until then, take care and keep exploring your own story.